We've already looked at Serenity, the actual pilot of Firefly, which introduced the characters and explained why Shepherd Book, Simon, and River are on board. Well, Fox didn't really care for that episode. So Joss Whedon and Tim Minear were forced to come up with a new pilot, with only 2 days to write it, and this is the result. Our heroes are in a bar for both business and pleasure. The business is that something has slipped to Mal about a new job. The pleasure is that it's Unification Day, which Alliance supporters celebrate, so Mal gets a chance to goad them.
Independents were a bunch of cowardly, inbred piss pots. Should have been killed off of every world spinning.
Say that to my face.
And try not to cut yourself on my chiseled good looks.
Now what are you gonna do about it? Nothing. I just want you to face me so she could get behind you.
One thing about giving a war everything and losing is you're not inclined to pass up an advantage ever again. Unfortunately, the advantage doesn't last long. The trio do their best, throwing dirt in people's faces, beating with a metal bar stool, but there's only so much that dirty fighting can do if you don't have numbers or a secret weapon. The secret weapon is that it doesn't have weapons. After the titles, River has a dream or something about what happened to her under Alliance control, and quite understandably freaks out. Simon works to help her, but River's view of the world is compromised by seeing too much of the now and the intrusion of too much of the then, so that's a little difficult. Mal pops in to clean up after splitting his knuckles, but allowing them to quickly establish fear of the Alliance finding the pair, the fact Simon's patching up the crew, that Simon gives up everything for his sister, and in Shepard's view, Mal is a good man for sheltering them despite the risk. The story is very efficient giving us information, but without being blunt about it. We're not going to start glazing over from a bombardment of exposition. Likewise, Inara's beauty treatment for Kaylee slips out nuggets for us, while the tone of Mal's barging in unhappy about the engines gives the first hint of the subtext between him and Inara. Incidentally, the thing Kaylee blames the mess on, the compression coil needing replacement, is behind what goes wrong in Out of Gas, so nicely done. For foreshadowing it, I mean, not ignoring it and then getting stuck. Well, third of the way into the episode, we follow through on the contact at the beginning, to meet with a criminal named Nishka. If you saw War Stories, then that name will be familiar to you. He makes the point to Mal that while he has a reputation for getting things done, reputations are, in the end, just hearsay. It's your own experience that matters with a person. In his case, his reputation can be considered confirmed. A sick son of a bitch when crossed. And this, by the way, is his wife's nephew, so we better not screw this up. He's hiring them for the titular train job. Like I said last month, hard to square a railroad with the future, but until something better comes along, you are stuck with Casey Jones. These trains are something like monorails, though, just a bit higher off the track, and filled with the usual sad bastards and just plain bastards. Alliance troops. That's a problem. Not a big problem, but, a problem. The train job is pretty simple. They're to steal 2 boxes during the trip between one town and another. These guys aren't here to stop them, or they'd be, guarding the boxes. As we pause to take in this new development, Shepherd Book and Inara speak a bit. She's been on the ship a lot longer than him, explaining that doing crimes isn't the sole work, it's whatever can pay. Trying to stay beyond the reach of the Alliance isn't easy. She also makes a remark, intentional or not is the real question, that speaks to the nature of their relationship, that she prays for Mal, but would never dare tell him. I wonder why.
Sir, I think you have a problem with your brain being missing.
That could be a reason. Unaware of this development, Serenity is moving in while Simon politely inquires what's going on. Kaylee tries not to make eyes at him, and Jane makes clear he hates everybody. He's convinced that Mal is just waiting for the right moment to make some money off Simon and River, but the only moment he's got to worry about right now is the heist himself. Now, obviously, the valuable goods are not just kept unlocked where anyone could just wander in there and take them. No, they had to get special access thanks to their benefactor, using the term very loosely. It lets him inside the room with the cargo, and while she goes to find it, Mal removes the bolts that are holding the roof access on. Jane, who is tethered to the ship, is dropped on the roof, climbs inside, and they wrap up the goods and hoist out. No problem, except for the problem. One of the Alliance troops heard some commotion and came to investigate. During the scuffle, Jane is shot in the leg, just to prove that Karma is watching the show.